Have returned once again today to deliver the final episode of Sangatsu no Line Season 2. We're good to go. We're good to go. So yeah, we ended about 50 minutes ago, the penultimate episode, which was freaking brilliant. So yeah, it's with heavy heart I must deliver the final episode now. But let's not kind of dwell on the depressing side of the fact that it's actually ending, but it's actually kind of appreciate the fact that actually Season 2 has literally been possibly the greatest thing anime's given us in quite a while. Like, since freaking, I don't even know. Like, since the Shogun assassination arc in Gintama. I mean, I haven't seen anything ever since that point that was amazing, but Sangatsu Season 2 actually really did top that. I mean, damn. So yeah. It's really bad that the fact it's actually ending today. So I didn't really want it to end because it's my favorite show of all time, but I kind of appreciate the fact that actually Season 2 has been like kind of the best thing ever. So it's actually kind of one of those really good things to kind of end on. It's the fact that you remember, yeah, even though it's ending, it was freaking brilliant. So yeah, episode 22 is the final episode. I believe we get an extra chapter, then 89, which is kind of, yeah, it makes sense how they've done it. I was sitting there like, wait a second, hold up a second. Yeah, it does make sense. Gone live for Sangatsu Season 2. Oop. There we go. All done. We're all good to go, I think. Actually, speaking of devil, I actually got episode 44 up. I do. Wouldn't you know? I was on the ball today. I think actually it did also go to the next chapter anyway, so it's not a problem. Either way, it'll be too short sometimes. So, without further delay, let's see what happens in the final episode of Sangatsu no Line Season 2. So, without further delay, let's actually watch this in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin this episode now. I am currently at 1 minute 19 seconds in. 1:19. This is amazing so far. Like, how it's all done is absolutely freaking fantastic. This is utterly breathtaking. Oh my god, my heart. My heart. Jesus. That was utterly amazing. There wasn't a single moving frame in the sense that it was actually people talking. It was actually a moving frame. It was all told in pictures. It was utterly phenomenal. I haven't seen that done in so long. It's such an amazing thing when it's pulled off so goddamn well, because there's actually a film that does that as well. That it's just told in pictures, like just all kind of put together. That is how you do a final episode. That's just... I can't believe it. That was so amazing. For an extra chapter, that's absolutely amazing. Oh, my heart really hurts right now. My actual heart really hurts. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do I say boys way too much? I never actually noticed that. Thank you. If you're watching it as well, have fun. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible, this episode so far. It's absolutely breathtaking. And that's it, boys. It's ended. It's over. The anime's finished. Can't believe it, actually. It's actually over again. It still feels kind of surreal because it feels like yesterday it started. Man, but there we are. It's over. That was really freaking beautiful, actually. I mean, the first part of it was incredible. I thought it was one of the most brilliant things I've seen in quite a long time ever been done. That's the thing, the storyline's just getting started, but the actual anime's over for now. Still can't believe it's over. It's kind of feel depressed now. I knew I was like, at the beginning, I was like, don't get sad because it's over. Just get reminded of the fact that the show's been brilliant so far. But I just reminded myself, oh yeah, it's over. It's just, you sort of feel depressed afterwards, don't you? I imagine probably it will happen when there's 2 more volumes out. I'd imagine. Man, we're getting 2 after credit scenes. Holy crap! What is happening? 2 after credit scenes. Well, there we are. It's over. Man, I'm sort of tearing up slightly at the ending as well. Don't know why. The ending kind of made me tear up. Just that there's just I can't even speak. Holy crap! Ah, come on, brain, stop it. Stop it, brain. No, just because it's over, you just sort of just sit there and go, oh god, it's over. Like, you know what you've seen so far has been the greatest thing ever, but you're sort of like, oh crap, it's over. It's sort of that dread just sits in, like, kind of sets in, you just sort of just like, no, don't go, and it's over, you're like, no. It went by so fast. I was like, oh, it might go at kind of one of those pacing, one of those paces that is kind of like, alright, it's set into motion. The final actually kind of ended it quite nicely, but this one actually was quite fast. It was even set up because of it. That was the thing. It has been quite the ride, fam. It really has. Oh my god, my heart is actually hurting me. Holy crap. What's going on with my heart? Oh, Christ. Just for the beginning part of this episode, it was freaking brilliant, because it really was, because it kind of gave you an insight into a side that we don't really get too much insight into, the idea of the mother. I thought it was actually a neat thing to do, because we never really know how she kind of feels with this whole entire thing going on, because there's been quite a lot going on, not just the fact that Ray's left. No, it's the ramifications that Ray actually didn't actively do, but kind of it happened anyway. It was one of those things that I always said it. I've said it since season 1. It's this idea that actually he doesn't actively look to become the antagonist, but certainly sometimes the way that in which he actually kind of gets placed into the world makes him seem that way. And it's actually kind of looking into ramifications of that whole entire idea and what it's actually done to the family. And I thought it's a neat thing to do because it's one of those things that we want to know what's really going on there. We haven't really got enough information just yet. All we know is a lot happened and that's it, and Ray left. We don't really know what happened in between. But it kind of gives you an insight into the idea of how she sees Ray. And I thought it was actually kind of like, it's one of those ones that it really hits you hard. Like, the whole entire section just really hits you hard because it makes you wonder, look, what happens if Ray was a son? What happens if this whole entire thing never happened? Like, what happens then? Would it just be the same way? Would it be completely different? We don't know, because it's actually kind of... It's horrible when you think about it, what happened to Ray, because Ray was actually kind of adopted by his family, and actually then he was actually kind of favored by the father, and the father kind of didn't give enough attention to everyone else, and it kind of, you can see where they're coming from as well, which is the one thing the show does in theory really brilliantly, is that idea of it allows you to see the other side of the perspective, and actually kind of allows you to see that, look, yeah, what happened with Ray was absolutely terrible, but what's happening here right now is even worse for the other family as well. It's actually kind of, it's horrible when you think about it, because Ray didn't do anything wrong. He's one of those people that did nothing wrong entirely, but it was just like life kind of just doesn't give a boy a break. That was the thing. It was actually kind of, it was horrible when you think about it. But it's one of those things that it kind of begs the question, it asks the question that actually brilliantly answers the question, this idea of what would happen if Ray was their son. Would it be exactly the same? I don't think it would be, because I don't know, because it's just Ray as an outsider going into that family and they're getting favoured by the father. It does kind of hit the people even harder than, say, if it actually was their own brother, because it's someone who's not directly related to them going into that family, kind of then getting favoured, actually then kind of sapping all the love towards him and to the other people. It's horrible. It really is, but I would love to see a what-if scenario. That's one of the things I've kind of got for this episode. I'd love to see a what-if scenario. And it was hard. It was a hard thing to watch because it makes you wonder. Well, she does in theory want him to be her son. It would have been a lot different if that was the case. It might have been different if it wasn't for the fact that I don't know, because it's one of those things that it wouldn't be as catastrophic as it was when Ray was there, because one of the things it does, you actually do raise a good point, is whether or not it would in theory be any different if he wasn't there. That's the thing. It's Coda is the other half, but I think what happened with Ray was the fact that he kind of got favoured, and it hurt everyone else. And I think that's the thing that it kind of does in theory. It's this idea that maybe, yeah, if he wasn't there, it might be exactly the same thing. We don't really kind of know just yet. But it's one of those ideas that you would imagine it wouldn't be as bad as it is currently, because there's a whole lot of going on. I mean, Coda himself could do a lot more. It's one of those things that does in theory kind of pose this idea that Coda was actually in theory a problem himself. Actually, then that needs to kind of be fixed. But it's an interesting point. This whole entire idea of the family dynamic, what's really going on in Coda's family. But personally, if you see the events from what's happened, what we've got so far, it does tell you that, look, that maybe, yeah, it might have still happened. He might have still favoured one of the children over the other, and actually in theory the same thing would have happened. Let's face it. But I think it hits even harder the fact that Ray wasn't related to them. He was in fact adopted, and I think that actually kind of in theory does actually hurt them a lot more. That's how I see it, at least. It's one of those things that kind of is interesting. The whole entire dynamic there is interesting in its own right. It's a whole lot going on there. It's one of those things that it needs to kind of, I think we need more time with them to actually kind of just get a basis, because we've got the basis so far, but actually kind of expand upon it, because it's just you've seen a lot with them so far, but you need that little bit more, I think. Actually kind of get the idea, because I don't know, Coda's a problem himself, but it's just the fact that whether or not Ray was the definite problem, or whether or not it was actually just one of those things that's going to go off at any second. We just don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. That's just my perspective, at least. But yeah, I mean, overall, the show's been incredible. It really has. It's one of those ones that I've said it time and time again. This whole entire show really has just kind of put in perspective that, look, nothing will be the same ever again. Like, once this show's over, you feel that kind of. You feel the fact it's gone. You don't. It's not like like it's one of those things, you feel that disconnect between the fact that there's no more, and you're kind of just like, man, I need that a little bit more, but now you have to wait until season 3, and it's kind of horrible. See, that's the thing, because the same thing does apply with Takagi as well. I think there's a definite, the dude it's not to the same degree, but it's one of those things that you have two different characters which kind of do in theory both pose their own kind of problems, which does have both sides to it. Because again, the whole thing with Takagi is the fact that there's a lot going on with her, and especially in the fact that where she sees herself in society, that whole entire thing. There's a lot going on there that it doesn't kind of pose the idea that actually in theory she's a bad person. It kind of gives you both sides of it, and actually kind of makes you go, yeah, she's actually not as bad as it's actually kind of made out to be. It's the fact that it's just kind of how she handles it is not the greatest way to handle it. The same thing applies with Koda as well. Koda could have been kind of a bit more supportive. You kind of saw it when she was mentioning about the fact of her son. Like, the son just goes, it takes effort to actually kind of give a damn in the first place, and the dad just laughs it off. It kind of puts you in perspective there what kind of father Koda actually is. Actually kind of makes you go, look, okay, there's a lot going on with Koda's character that it's actually kind of, there's a whole problem in its own right, but it's the whole entire idea of this idea of who Ray is towards the family himself. And actually, he's not a problem. That's the thing. Ray isn't the problem. He's not a problem. It's just the way he's placed in the whole entire thing creates the problem. He doesn't actively do anything. He's just kind of doing his own thing, which actually is kind of terrible when you think about it, because he literally does nothing wrong. But the problem is, where he's placed into the world itself, he kind of can't go without doing anything wrong. And it's actually kind of horrible. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's the price of a dream as well. That's the thing, which I actually kind of enjoyed seeing as well. It's the idea of the price of a dream and what it actually kind of means to the person, whether or not they actually can in theory pursue it, whether or not it's actually point to pursue it, whether or not they actually can in theory gain anything out of it in the end. It's one of the things this show did quite brilliantly as well. Because Ray was kind of aimless for the whole entirety of season 1. He actually kind of had certain things that actually kind of pushed him along, but in a sense of an aim, a very, very definite aim. There wasn't anything there. It was actually kind of very absent. But when Hina kind of put in perspective everything had changed for him. He actually kind of then got a goal. He got an aim, and actually now it's kind of pushing him forward even further to the final. And I actually kind of like that. It's one of those things that kind of, you don't always get protagonists that are kind of aimless straight away. They're kind of always got something going on which kind of pushes the narrative forward. But with Ray, you've always kind of got this idea that he's kind of always been someone who's kind of have like two things going against him more than for him. But now he's got that thing. He's got that thing going for him, which kind of make him go, look, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I know what I've got to do. It's actually kind of brilliant to see him grow because of it, I think. So yeah, I mean, we may never know truly what would happen with Koda's family if Ray wasn't there, but I don't know, because Koda's an interesting character as well, because he doesn't seem kind of presently all that bad, but it's just one of those things that, again, I'm guessing he doesn't know what he's doing to the family himself. Maybe that's actually one thing. That is one of those things that I don't think he knew what he was actively doing. I think he was just going about what he would normally do, and it's actually one of those things that is not the correct way. It was actually one of those things that's actually kind of a prevalent theme throughout its whole entire season so far. This idea of how you actually kind of, how you actually gauge your emotions and how you actually actively then kind of go forward with them. Because one of those things, a lot of characters actually had that problem. I mean, Goto's one of the prime examples of it. Goto's a prime example of a character that has a lot going on, but doesn't actually know how to actually kind of handle it. I think the same thing applies to Koda's character as well. This idea of actually how he handles situations. Actually, it's not the best way, because let's face it, it isn't. He destroyed technically a dynamic completely. I mean, maybe in theory Ray could have stayed there if Koda wasn't so kind of maybe kind of fixate on him. It's one of those things that it kind of, it's horrible when you think about it, because again, as I said before, I had said about a few times, Ray hasn't actively looked for it, but the fact is that life kind of places him into this loop of just doing wrong constantly. But now it's actually kind of changing. He's actually done something right for the first time. Actually, it's kind of enjoyable to watch, I think. Just for that one reason, the fact is that he actually did something good. But yeah, I mean, damn, this season's been amazing. I mean, Hina's arc just proved perfectly that this show was going to be the greatest thing ever. I mean, I already knew going into this series that the Hina arc would be incredible, but to see how Shaft actually kind of brought it to life, it was breathtaking. It really was. It's one of those things. It was kind of depressing, but you kind of always saw this idea that actually kind of a positive outlook in the end. It wasn't always just complete depression. It's always this actual like kind of silver lining slightly throughout each episode. It's actually always this. It's a dark undercurrent, but at the same time, there's always this kind of like overcurrent of kind of positivity, and I actually kind of enjoyed that. I thought it was actually a neat thing to do. And then we also got the whole burnt field arc as well, which wow, it was beautiful. There's no doubt about it. It was absolutely incredible. It really was. You can't really put into words how well that was animated, how well it was brought to life, but it just was. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and they did it perfectly. So yeah, I always will say this is probably my favorite show of all time, because it really is. There's no show out there that really ever came close to this show. Like, I don't think there ever will be either, because this show just does everything perfectly. There's not one single thing out of place in the show. Every single thing is done to the perfection that it could be done. And I think even more so as well, because again, the Hina arc was perfect in the manga, but how they brought it to life in the anime was just absolutely incredible. You couldn't just sit there and go, well, there's a flaw there, because there really wasn't. There was nothing wrong with the show, and I just think it's a testament to Shaft themselves and how well they actually animate, and how well they bring stuff to life, and how well they actually kind of go about adaptations. It's just, even if the material isn't the greatest chapter in the universe, you will love it equally because of how well Shaft actually bring it to life, and actually how well they give it personality, because certain chapters can in theory go by and actually kind of feel as if it's like, okay, maybe that wasn't kind of the best chapter, but how Shaft bring it to life, and just like, damn, this is the best thing ever. It really is. It's how Shaft do it. I don't understand how they do it, but they just do it. I'm like, why can't all studios be like this? Why can't all studios look at how Shaft adapt and actually kind of then go about themselves? It's one of those things that, imagine if Pirates adapted Tokyo Ghoul the same way that Shaft adapts Sangatsu. It just would be the greatest show ever. It would be. I just don't understand how other shows kind of just go, nah fam, we're not doing it that way, because it's just like, why though? Why can't you follow Shaft's example? I mean, Shaft isn't kind of got the greatest track record in the universe. There has been kind of a few duds here and there, but I don't know. It's just like, nowadays you just kind of see Shaft as kind of the greatest things in the universe, because they are the greatest things in the universe. They're the greatest beings in the universe, the greatest studio in the universe. I love them. I love them so much. Well, to me it is, at least. I don't know to everyone else, because I would say Bakemonogatari probably is their best like kind of show in the universe, but I think this is possibly my favorite one. I don't know, because you've got Bake, you've got what else? You've got Zetsubo Sensei as well. You've got what else am I missing? Did they do Air, or was that Madhouse? There's another show they did in between as well. They've got the Monogataris. They've got Zetsubo Sensei. They've got oh, what was the name of that one? Zaragoto as well. That's one. They've got Negima, I think, as well. Hold up a second. Let's have a look quickly. Let's have a look what other shows I'm actually missing off the top of our heads. I can't remember what else I'm actually missing. Right, so Sangatsu. Alright, let's have a look, because it actually probably is one I'm missing off the top of my head. Like, one really famous show that it's just gone past me. Right, so you got Nisekoi. You've got also oh, Madoka Magica as well. There's that one. So they've got, there's some shows that I'm not the greatest fans of, in the sense like some like Nisekoi season 2. But again, it's just the fact that you just know anyway they're going to produce something amazing, because now this show really has put them back on the map, I think. In a sense, they haven't really been taken off the map, but it's one of those things that it kind of makes you go, okay, look. Yeah, they actually can very adapt, and actually just, boy, it's a beautiful thing. Like, it really is. I can't stand the fact that other studios just don't follow example, but I don't know. I want to live in a world where Tokyo Ghoul actually got a good adaptation by some other studio besides not Madhouse. Well, actually besides Madhouse, give it to some other studio. But Just a better adaptation by Studio Period. I want to live in the world where Studio Period actually adapts something correctly. That's just, I want to live in that kind of universe. And Shaft just, along as Shaft just do shows, oh boy, I'll be the happiest person on earth. But I don't think they're doing anything else besides Fate and Monogatari for the future. So it's a wait and see kind of thing what they do next. But yeah, Sangatsu has literally been the best thing ever, and I actually can't wait to see what happens next, because I believe the manga has actually caught up. Well, the anime's caught up to where I am in the manga, so I actually can now continue. I actually was going to continue beforehand. I was actually going to do a stream 2 weeks ago, but as you can probably see from my upload schedule's been terrible because work has overtaken what actually can in theory do. So that's why I've kind of taken a back seat certainly, and actually kind of just streamed some more games just to calm down slightly, because work has been stressful. But yeah, hopefully I actually can get back into the groove of doing manga afterwards, because I actually do want to get back into the series and actually kind of see what happens. I believe I had 36 chapters to go. Well, actually no, 46 chapters. I haven't got to 100 yet, so there's actually like 46. Yeah, so I have actually literally got a season's worth of material, because I adapted. Yeah, I do actually literally have a season's worth of material. When you know, I've got 3 volumes worth of material to actually cover. Actually 4 maybe, actually. Diamond is actually pretty good, I think. They're kind of underrated, but they've actually kind of got those shows that make you go, not so much good Diamedia, but actually it has some good shows as well, I think. Every single studio has their duds sometimes as well. It's one of those things you always kind of get from most studios. They all have their duds. But Sangatsu, my god, is the characterization being freaking incredible. Has the OST been the greatest thing ever? I always say it, if you actually can implement an OST into a scene to perfection, I will give you the best medal in the universe, because it's such a lost art. It really is. Visual storytelling, implementation of soundtrack and stuff like that is a lost art, because a lot of studios can't do it, a lot of films can't do it. I mean, the last good film I saw with an amazing soundtrack that was implemented so well, besides Baby Driver, was actually Blade Runner 2049. Also probably Shape of Water as well. But it's just like, those films were legit incredible anyway, but it's just one of those things that I just wanted to. I want to see more. I want to see more animes that just kind of implement soundtrack, because it's a thing that actually can elevate a scene beyond to where it is right now. And it's just like a lot of shows don't do it. I'm like, why not? Why not? Because the dialogue can sometimes be terrible, but if you've got a good soundtrack behind it, you actually can tell how the scene should feel. It's actually one of those things that it just should be used more. I can't understand it. You should use it more, because it just does so much to a scene. But alas, we never get that. I don't understand why. I just don't know. But it's just one of those things that life doesn't go the way you expect. You're just like, why no? Why? It's like visual storytelling. Visual storytelling is such a lost art as well. And Sangatsu brought it back. I'm just like, man, why can't more studios do this? Why? Why can't it happen? I see the way Shaft and stuff and certain other smaller studios actually do it, because A1 Pictures slightly did it with Occultic 9, but Occultic 9 was terrible, so there's that. But there was some other studios actually can in theory do it, but it's just such a lost art at this point. I just like, please just bring it back. I love my visual storytelling. It's one of my favorite things in the universe that I just want to see it used more often, but alas, why not? But yeah, all in all, Sangatsu has been a 50 out of 10, it has been so far. Can't wait to see what happens next for the series. Can't wait to see what happens with Shaft next, because Shaft were meant to kind of finish off Fate Encore, but then something happened. They actually have to kind of release the episodes later. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But hopefully we actually kind of get a new Shaft show. It actually isn't a sequel or a kind of spin-off to a series already, and actually kind of like some other random thing towards a series. I kind of want to see a new Shaft show besides Sangatsu. I mean, I don't mind more Sangatsu. I'm a man that wants more Sangatsu, but I want to see what else they actually can in theory do. Whether or not it's just Sangatsu, or whether or not all their other shows actually improve as well. It's one of those things. The last other thing I saw by Shaft beforehand was Fireworks, and Fireworks was kind of sort of terrible. So it's just one of those things. I just kind of want to see him just do something more. Just give me something other than what I'm seeing him beforehand, because I just want to see Shaft give me the good stuff. It'd be kind of cool to see Shaft do a shonen anime, but then I don't think they actually can really do it for a very long time. But I might be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? Might wake up tomorrow and actually kind of see him making JoJo Part 5. Who knows? Yeah, Tatsunoko been an interesting studio as well because they've literally done nothing besides kids shows, which is really weird because Tatsunoko's had quite kind of a few shows that are really freaking good. I mean, they've had some duds here and there as well, but they had some good shows. I understand why they keep on doing kids shows as well. I want to see Zebek do something good as well because the rest studio actually can really deliver sometimes as well. JC Staff does some good stuff anyway, so it's just. Maybe Madhouse just do a non-sequel to a show. I mean, I did do a place for Beyond the Universe, so that was really freaking great. So there's that. But I mean, I need to see them adapt something that actually isn't kind of going to be one series or a light novel already badly paced like Overlord Season 2 was. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things that Tatsunoko's a weird company, a weird studio. I don't know. They're one of those ones to watch because sometimes they just do a random show that's actually legit incredible. Like TMS does that sometimes as well. TMS do some pretty freaking like shows. They had that one show like TMS, mate. Where have you been this whole entire time? Every single show actually has exactly the same problem. Like, they all do. Shaft the only one actually has done something consistently amazing, so it's just like, okay, it's not really a problem. But everyone else is kind of like, you might want to kind of... Like Passione as well. Passione did that really freaking good show, like, at one point. I was like, Passione, do something good again. Just, it's not kind of High School DxD Season 4 or Citrus. But, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Yeah, but I haven't. Yeah, but Full Metal Panic's kind of a season 4. Is it season 4 or is it season 3? Is it technically season 3? Technically season 3. Yeah, I think it is because Fun Food's a side story. But man, I need to sit down and watch Full Metal Panic again, or again actually all the way through because I don't think I actually kind of saw it all the way through as a kid. I only saw like bits and bobs of it because, as I said during my actual spring video, I actually said that I used to watch it thinking it was Fullmetal Alchemist. I was like, hey, FMA's on, but actually it wasn't very FMA, it was FMP. Still watched some of it, it's actually pretty good. I was a kid, so it's actually pretty cool. But I need to sit down and watch it. The one I'm most terrified of though is kind of Legend of Galactic Heroes. That's the one I'm most scared of next season because goddamn, just does it not look that good? I was like, no, it's just not what it should be. It should just be left the way it was. It's just like, why them remaking Legend of Galactic Heroes again? Just leave it, man, Dems. Leave it. Yeah. Zero G is kind of a very underrated studio as well. Same thing with Kinema Citrus as well, and sometimes Free Hertz. They're all kind of underrated because they just do that one good show, and that's just all they're known for, and it just kind of just... what happened after that point. I don't know. Hopefully Shaft do deliver a good show again after this point. And actually then maybe you never know that actually they might give us season 3 of Sangatsu because I need more of that. I need more of that godly OST. I need more of that amazing visuals. I need more of that amazing character development as well because legit, it's such an amazing character development in this show. God damn. So yeah. That's me done for today. That's me done for Sangatsu as well. Whew, man, it's over. I keep on saying it's over because it actually is. It's depressing. It's sad. I don't want it to be over. I want to go back next week and see another episode, but I'm not going to, am I? But alas. So, hopefully you actually have enjoyed this whole entire series. As I always said, it's actually one of my favourite shows to cover because I love analysing it, because it's a series that's actually so rich in stuff to analyse that I just kind of, I fall in love with it. Fall in love with just doing it. So hopefully you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream series of Sangatsu no Lion Season 2. But until whenever they do Season 3, or whenever I actually cover the manga once again, which should hopefully be soon. I mean, 27th of April, I'm completely free, so after that point, let's see what happens. But before that point, I might still be able to cover some things. Let's hope. So yeah, as always, if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch, then do leave a follow, because indeed, it does help quite a bit. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed, it does help quite a bit. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, and you do want to stay a bit longer, then do this up, because indeed, it does help me quite a bit. But until next time, I've indeed been the driver. Again, hopefully you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream series as much as I have, because this show's been incredible. But until next time, see you guys later. Bye for now.